2 minutes before we ring the bell.
Okay.
I always get nervous just before I speak, and then I feel like I have to go to the bathroom. But I really have to go to the bathroom.
I feel like when I get nervous, my mouth gets really dry,
Right.
and then I feel like I have to cough.
I use she and her pronouns. I serve this congregation on the social justice team. I am leading this morning's service as worship associate. Welcome to our special place. As the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Quad Cities, we welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We welcome especially those who are joining us for the first time. We live stream our service on YouTube, and our recordings are then saved in our UUCQC YouTube channel. If you don't want to appear in our recordings, you can sit under the owl's nest. We invite everyone to join us downstairs after service for coffee, snacks, and conversation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jera. That was beautiful as usual.
Good morning. My name's Lori McCollum. I also use she, her pronouns. June the 19th, 1865, is the day when news of the emancipation and the end of the World War, the Civil War, reached the last group of slaves in the country. Although the Emancipation Proclamation was issued on January 1st, 1863, it would take over 2 years for the news to reach Texas. I could make a comment about that, but I won't. Even then, not all enslaved people were freed instantly. On June the 19th, Union Army General Gordon Granger announced federal orders in Galveston, Texas, that all slaves held in Texas had been freed. The 13th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified that December 6th, formally ending and forbidding all non-penal slavery everywhere in the U.S. May we take this Juneteenth as an opportunity to recommit to the values of equality and the dignity of every human person, and our shared responsibility to fight racism within our society and within ourselves. I want to remind us that all Black history is American history, and it is our responsibility to see that it is taught and that it is accepted as a true piece of the American tapestry. The service today may make some of us uncomfortable. Nothing here is meant to demean any group, but silence is complicity. And so we begin today's worship. As Lisa lights our chalice, let's all recite our chalice lighting words in the order of service and on the screen. Oh, I don't think I put it in the order of service. I'm sorry. I had to make my own this week. Here you may find a warm greeting, a kind word, a gentle touch. Here you may find a community of support, a pulse of liberation, a vision of hope. May all walls give you shelter. May this community break through your loneliness, and may you feel the embrace of a larger spirit of life and love. Come, let us worship together. I want to thank Jera for selecting our hymns today. I asked him to find music that would reflect the theme of Juneteenth. They're not in our hymnal, but I feel sure you're familiar with them. Although they may not be typical UU hymns, remember that today we celebrate the perseverance and resilience of the Black community, and these songs help us acknowledge their culture, their joy, and their perspective on life. Please rise in body and or spirit. We are going to have a leader today, and we're going to have the choir help in the response. These are call response songs that are typically used in the Black churches. The lyrics will be projected on the screen.
Okay. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus was. Oh, when Jesus was. When Jesus was. You washed my sins away. Oh, every day. Oh, happy day. He taught me how to watch, fight and pray, fight and pray, and live rejoicing every day. Oh, every day. Oh, every day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. In the spirit of love and fellowship, remain standing because we now greet the holy in our midst by briefly greeting those around us, especially those we do not know.
Good morning, everybody. I think I'm good. I can. Can I have the children come up, please? Whoops. Thank you. How we doing today, friends? Good. Are we ready to do a little Juneteenth meditation? Can we stand up? And if everybody else can stand up, this is a standing up one. And I forgot a music stand, so I'm gonna try and do my best here. Okay. So stand tall and strong like a tree. Feel your feet planted firmly on the ground and let your arms rest gently at your sides. Now, take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Imagine you are standing outside under a bright golden sun. Stretch your arms wide and feel its warmth shining down on you. This is the light of freedom, love, and hope. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Now bring your hands together like you are holding something small and glowing. A tiny flickering flame. This is the flame of freedom. Look at it. This flame reminds us of the joy of Juneteenth, of people dancing, singing, and celebrating their right to be free. Take a deep breath and feel that joy inside of you. Let's let our flame grow brighter. But now, imagine the wind begins to blow. It makes the flame flicker. And sometimes the world is unfair. And freedom is not yet complete. But now imagine the wind, but watch, your flame doesn't go out. You protect it by cupping your hands again. You keep it safe and you make it stronger. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Like a soft wind. Now, imagine you see other people around you, your family, your friends, and even people you don't know. Hold out your flame, and one by one, pass your flame to them. Soon, the whole space is glowing with light. This is how we build a better world. One person at a time. One kind of action at a time. One moment of standing up for what's right. Now take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. The light of freedom is still inside of you. You don't need to hold a candle. You carry it in your heart. When you are ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and repeat after me. We celebrate freedom.
We celebrate freedom.
May we carry the light.
May we carry the light.
May we keep working for a better world.
May we keep working for a better world.
May the light of freedom shine in all of us.
May the light of freedom shine in all of us.
And now let's go down to our classes.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ann Harrington. Today I am here as a member of the pastoral care team. As we gather today, we pause to reflect on what lies in our hearts. In this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal joys and sorrows and to read from the book of joys and sorrows those personal life events you have chosen to share with us. Do we have anything online at all? Thank you. So we do have several in the book. From Ashley Price, Prayers for my friend Sonia and her family. She's having a hard time with cancer. She's overseas. From Lori McCollum, thanks to all those who helped pull the service together today. Lisa, Ashley, Jera, Dana, Steve, Beck, and Taryn. From Dana Rosenberg, thanks to all those who marched in the Unity Pride Parade yesterday, and to the many who participated in the No Kings rally. And from Allison Foley, I completed my second year of my MSW with straight A's. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. You are invited to come forward and light a candle during the musical meditation that follows.
This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all who are in accord with our values, mission, and vision. Our congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for many of our ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. This month's undesignated plant offering will go towards the UUA. We invite you now to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of congregation. Please be as generous as you're able. For all the gifts of time and treasure that you give to this congregation, with sincere gratitude, we thank you. Now, a wonderful reading from our Ashley.
Good morning. I go by she, her, and I got asked by Lori to read a speech by Frederick Douglass. I answered today, I revealed to him more than all the other days in the years. What is the American slave is her 4th of July? I answered, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross justice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a shame. Your boastous liberty and your unholy license, your nation's greatness swelling vanity. Your sound of rejoice are empty and heartless. Your destruction and tyrants brass, front, and impurity. Your shouts of liberty equal holly and mockery of your prayers and hymns, your servants in thanksgiving with all your religious praise and democracy are to him, or more bombast, fraud, description, impurity, and hypocrisy. A thin veil is covered up in crime which you disgrace, a nation of savages. There is not a nation on earth guilty of prejudice or more shocking and bloody than are the people of the United States at this very hour.
Thank you. Before I begin the reflection today, I want to do two things. First of all, I want to acknowledge Father's Day. For all the fathers out there, the grandfathers, the fathers who are no longer with us, the fathers that we wished we had that we didn't have, all of those things are true, and we just want to acknowledge that today. There are treats downstairs, and I think Mindy has come up with a wonderful list of dad jokes for us to read. So I also want to thank Karen Crouch. Karen, you want to come up here for a second? She's looking at me like a deer in the headlights. Karen offered up her home this last year for Reverend Sabrina to stay, and we greatly appreciate that. She did that for 2 years with Reverend Patrick. We have a little acknowledgement for you, and I think we should all thank Karen very much. I'm drawing much of the sermon today from one given by Pastor Joshua Berg, which is available in the Soul Matters curriculum. That's where I drew it from. And it's called the F word. That gets your attention, right? So he says, in my youth, from my vantage of privilege, it always felt great to accept that the U.S. was the land of the free and the home of the brave. Needless to say, I have since become quite disillusioned with this country. I do, however, maintain that we can strive to be a land of freedoms, but only if we are indeed the home of the brave of heart and spirit. The F word, freedom, is never pure, but rather an ever-shifting point around which humankind oscillates, moving forward and back along a continuum between anarchy and authoritarianism. Further, the work to move that point into just the right place never exists. There are freedoms many enjoy just as many others do not, and freedoms that are forever gained and lost. As my awareness of the complexity of the idea of freedom came into greater focus, I also understood better how the price of that awareness, the price of knowledge, and especially the price of having freedoms at all, is indeed vigilance. Vigilance to catch ourselves when we choose to rest on our laurels or evade responsibility, vigilant courage to take essential risks, and in the coming years, I believe it will take vigilance greater than I ever could have imagined to dispel lies with truth and undertake another F word, the fight to keep freedoms we have and enact the restorative justice necessary to reverse injustices lest they continue to restrict all our freedoms. Frederick Douglass said in the reading you just heard, "For revolting barbarity and shameless hypocrisy, America reigns without rival." Inconceivably, these words of one of our most important 19th century American ancestors, talking truth to power about the fact of our country's history, of dehumanizing his fellow African Americans and indigenous people, will be censored or banned altogether from school curricula because they would hurt white people's feelings or make us look bad. That's unconscionable. Denial of history is just one tactic in the current drive by the right to implement policies that deny civil and human rights. Instead of being accountable for our honest history, sustaining the falsehoods and delusions of some insatiable, unattainable idea of freedom, or worse yet, pretending true freedom exists in the midst of significant subjugation, consigns all of society to permanent bondage. Are you aware that high school history textbooks in the South continue to portray the Civil War differently than those used in the North? People approve their own textbooks state by state. And Texas, because they are the largest purchaser, have great power over how textbooks are written. They call the Civil War the Lost Cause, or the War of Northern Aggression, and that's written in their textbooks. In a similar vein, Oklahoma recently passed their own high school curriculum in which the 2020 election is written down as stolen. Yeah, that's in their textbooks for the next year. The Thurgood Marshall Institute noted that some groups today still have influence over textbooks and seek to distort and minimize the role of slavery and racism. I know I never learned about the massacres of African Americans in Tulsa or Rosewood when I was in high school. I never learned that Black World War II soldiers were denied the GI Bill or VA loans for housing. I learned that through reading and going to a wonderful exhibit down at the Putnam a few years ago. To move into the present, Governor Ron DeSantis has defended the teaching standards in Florida that require middle school students to learn that enslaved people were developing skills that they could apply to their personal benefit. I mean, wasn't that nice? So if we do not learn from our mistakes, how can we possibly correct them? How can we fight for freedom in the face of deception and move the point forward toward universal liberty? We must lift up the realities of history, as painful as they are. Germany's done that with regard to the Nazi regime before and during World War II. They state never again. They've outlawed the Nazi Party because they acknowledge that what happened on their watch was a bad thing. They work to build a complex understanding of history in their children. And while this continues to be a battle with which they struggle, at least they recognize the challenge and try to address it. What have we done about our history of atrocity? Nothing. This week, as we approach Juneteenth, we must acknowledge racism as one of the many intersecting prejudices in this country. Throughout our history, the government of the United States has systematically and forcibly prevented African Americans access to resources and opportunities while facilitating easy access to the same for white people for hundreds of years. Not only does it continue to do so in a more insidious way, the repercussions of those generations of inequality resonate powerfully still. As a white person whose ancestors have cashed privilege for years, my ability to, for instance, get a loan to buy a car or drive it without fearing arrest far outweighs the ability of my African American contemporaries who have the additional burden of overcoming generations of injustice. And racism intersects with many other prejudices, including gender, identity, sexuality, class, and more. A tragic irony is that those in power who collude to restrict others' freedoms don't understand that if they retain what they consider to be freedom, but denying the safety and freedoms to others, they too are not truly free. With their assumed freedoms being tenuous at best, what follows is the country falling victim to a destructive desperation to hold on to them, which I think we are seeing, particularly this weekend in Minneapolis. The U.S. is currently dominated by many so desperate to hold on to power and wealth that they are willing to deceive and manipulate. They use means ranging from provoking another F word, fear, as well as anger and direct violence, to hiding like cowards behind illegitimate protections, often masquerading as established law. In the face of this, how can we fight for freedom? Is living our UU values through love enough? Is doing any good to focus on love? People are rightfully frustrated, angry, fearful, despondent, and confused. Raise your hand if you have any of those feelings. Those hard feelings lead to a questioning of what good is it to love and have hope. I regularly feel like shouting to the rafters, no, just forget about love. We need to focus on our values of justice, pure and simple. But justice preserves only what love reunites, contends the theologian Paul Tillich. Justice, he states, is violated when another person's power is being rejected. Justice is the form in which and through which love performs its work. Not only that, but love is not always pacifism and certainly never surrender, placation, or pandering. Love often must be tough. True love must feed the strength of defiance and resilience. True love for humanity motivates and undergirds a long, hard-fought revolution. There is no more powerful fight and no more potent and lasting justice than that achieved through the strength of love. While we absolutely need solutions that include specific, targeted, radical action, without a baseline of much more potent, unflinching love, none of those specific solutions will be achievable or effective in the long term. Without love powering the engine, especially when love is replaced by fear, the fight for freedom devolves into what we see happening, a compassionless, heartless, cowardly scramble to retain control, masquerading as a fight for freedom at the expense of true freedoms. The author Bell Hooks rightfully reminds us that only love can broaden concern to what is hurting the collective us. We don't hear a lot about the common good anymore. In her essay, Love is the Practice of Freedom, she goes on to explain that recognizing the incontestable humanity in each other, loving each other, requires giving up individual comfort and privileges. And with all due respect to bell hooks, giving up comfort seems not quite strong enough. It will require confronting violent oppression head on, as many have always been forced to do because of this country's foundation on white supremacy. I know I have a friend, a person of color, who when Trump won the election and several of us were having lunch saying, I can't believe this happened. She said, well, I believe this happened. This always has happened. You guys just started noticing. The reality we're confronting now is that radical love for humanity drives us to poke the bear more and harder, that we have been and are going to be experiencing more of a desperately violent reactionary response and likely for a long time to come. The struggle to kill or tame the bear that is hatred and fear will see many hurt and possibly killed. But the good news is that witnessing more reactionary violence means that more people are taking action to fight for freedom. Langston Hughes cautions in his poem, Freedom, that freedom will not come today, this year, nor ever through compromise and fear. So we must not be afraid. Inherent in that statement, in what I've said so far, is another F word, faith. This faith is not of a traditionally religious nature. It's faith in humanity's ability to overcome. I tend toward rationalism, and so I have faith in what I can observe, using factual evidence to come to a conclusion. And what I observe rationally is that we move forward 2 steps and then backwards, sometimes 1 step, sometimes 3 or 4. But if we have faith in humanity's ability to overcome, we will not sit at home cursing the wrong-minded, thinking of these many as wrong-headed, but we will take action and look to faith in the power and ability to love sufficiently to effect change that is progressive and revolutionary enough to sustain our society. We may have hit a giant roadblock, but ultimately, can we have faith that we are ever moving forward toward more and equal freedoms? Will we have faith that we will join together in great numbers with love? I know I went to the All Kings March yesterday. It was very uplifting. Right now, as reactionary conservatives erroneously believe that white people are under attack, really, and fear a loss of control, there must be an honest accounting of our country's racial history. Instead, Martin Luther King Jr.'s words, and Frederick Douglass's words, and Langston Hughes's words, and bell hooks's words are censored or banned completely. Think about that for a moment. The thoughts, admonishments, and teaching of some of our most important American ancestors of freedom and the power of love won't even be taught in American schools. That's unconscionable. People ask me what action they can take. That's one. Never stop lifting up those words. We need to keep taking action toward justice together in community with like-minded people. We need to support revolutionary people and organizations. We need to do these things despite of risk, allowing our fear to fuel our love. We need to shout to the rafters that as long as our fellow humans are held hostage and exploited by a capitalism that privileges the few over the many, we are not really a free country. As long as the powerful and power-drunk can hold this country hostage with lies, deception, and fear-mongering to protect their wealth and dominion and assuage their irrational, bigoted fears, we are not truly a free country. As long as all of our loved ones who are marginalized, othered, and dehumanized are threatened and killed, we are not a free country. As long as National Guard troops and the Marines can be deployed without a governor's request to round up a group of peaceful immigrants at their places of work, as long as that military can attack the free press and peaceful protesters, we are not free. As long as Congress refuses to pass reasonable immigration laws that would allow work visas for those who can find employment and would allow a path to citizenship for those who've never broken any law other than entering our country seeking a better life for their children, no one is free. As long as women experiencing a miscarriage can be arrested for murder in some states, and as long as people fear loss of their civil rights just for their sexual orientation or gender identity, none of us are free. We focus today on the resilience of our African American family and friends, but it's not that narrow a battle. As long as we remain unaccountable for our nation's crimes and continue to commit them, we're not free. And as we shout and we fight, we must also be aware that we will need time to rest and not feel guilty about protecting our mental and physical health. We must not criticize ourselves for taking time off or for feeling tired. It's impossible to direct our righteous love toward fixing what is harming society while beating ourselves up. Finally, we have to understand that there is no one right action or correct way of moving forward. Our faith must be continually reevaluated. I have hope for America, not because we are the land of the free, but because I regularly witness brave people that I respect and love striving against great odds to move from fear to freedom with faith in humanity's ability to love. If Frederick Douglass had hope, given the state of the nation in 1852, we can have hope today. I therefore leave off where I began, that we can strive to be a land of freedoms only if we are indeed the home of the brave of heart, the brave of spirit. As we celebrate the freedom, resilience, joy, resistance, culture, and greatness of Black America, let's remember that Black history is American history. Amen, and blessed be. And now, please rise in body and or spirit as our helpers come forward. We really can do call and response, guys, really. We can do this. The lyrics are projected on the screen.
Everywhere I go, there's an angel there. Everywhere I go, there's an angel there. Everywhere I go, there's an angel there. 'Cause my God, He'll never leave me alone. Everywhere I turn, there's an angel there. Everywhere I turn, there's an angel there. Everywhere I turn, oh, there's an angel there. 'Cause my God, He never leaves me alone. All around my heart, there are angels there. All around my heart, there are angels there. All around my heart, there are angels there. Oh yes, 'cause my God, never leaves me alone. He 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 never leaves me alone.
Thank you so much. Choir, I really appreciate you saving us. All right, so if Lisa would like to help with extinguishing the chalice, please remain lifted up and join in the unison reading. Spirit of life, we lift our hearts and intentions to you as we commemorate this day of freedom for many. May we remember the atrocities that brought us here. May we honor the courage, fortitude, and strength it took for enslaved Africans to endure those horrors and prevail. We lift up both those who enslaved and those who were enslaved, as we, their descendants, seek to reconcile our past, live righteously and freely in our present, and protect our future from repeating these histories of oppression.
We actually have quite a few announcements. All are invited to the UU Conversations program sponsored by the Adult Religious Team starting next Sunday on June 22nd from 9 to 9:45 a.m. in the lounge. If childcare is needed, please contact Kathy Soley as soon as possible to schedule a provider services. Mark your calendars for Monday, July 28th to participate in the fundraisers team event at Pizza Ranch, when a percentage of the night's proceeds will be donated to UUCQC. More information on how you can be involved will follow. Next, just a reminder that our current fundraiser, Your Change Makes a Difference. Feel free to drop your spare pennies and loose change in the receptacles. They're marked for this purpose, one in the foyer and one downstairs. A little goes a long way when we all work together. Progressive Action for the Common Good presents their monthly green drink speaker at the Juneteenth event at 5 o'clock at the MLK Center in Davenport. Todd Weston is a sixth-generation Iowa farmer whose family farm is the oldest Black-owned farm in Iowa. It's been in the Weston family for over 160 years and uses sustainable farming methods. Even if you aren't a farmer, this should be a fascinating discussion. The Social Justice Pride Month presentation is a spectrum, asexuality, and genderqueer communities. Please join Dan Meaden for our social justice team on Friday, June 20th from 7 to 8. Doors open at 6:30 for a presentation and open discussion on topics of interest for Pride Month. The asexual community, often referred to as the invisible orientation, have been a growing group in the queer community. This discussion is an introduction to the community and will include the history of the group, some concepts with gender identity, and types of attraction, and following open discussion. Feel free to reach out to Dan Meaden at AOL.com for any questions. The Giving Garden team will be meeting at the church on Tuesday, the 17th at 2:30 to discuss the future plans for the garden. Finally, let me draw your attention to the additional announcements printed on the back of your service.
All right. We will close today with words of resilience from the former U.S. Poet Laureate Maya Angelou and her celebrated poem, Still I Rise. I will not attempt to read it, but let's hear it in her own words. Hopefully. Maybe? All right, great. That's pretty.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt.
Can you turn up the volume?
But still like dust. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt,
This?
but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, all right. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance? As if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slaves. And so, wow. There I go.
Thank you. And now we have our postlude. Both of you. Did we leave in anything? Oh, yes. All my